All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Bean Apple. It has been a little while, but putting out some more content for you guys. Wanted to go over today the five most underrated players on the Jets going into this season. There's a lot of hype around the Jets players, around the offseason, around the draft, around free agency. A lot of hype, a lot of things to look forward to. And as Jets fans, this is about as exciting an offseason as you can remember. So, very excited for what's to come. But there's a lot of things that I think are now being overlooked, a lot of players that are being overlooked because of that. So, I'm going to run down from 5 to 1. You guys tell me if you agree, disagree, what you think. If somebody's missing, let me know. It's not going to be top name players. I'm not going to throw Zach Wilson in as a underrated player, right? But let's go with it. Number 5, I'm going with Jason Pinnock. He was drafted last year, young guy, didn't get too much playing time till the end of the year. He switched to safety due to all the injuries that the Jets suffered at the safety position. And when he switched to safety, he really came on. He really started showing his own. And from all the reports this year, from the OTAs, from what people are seeing, he is very comfortable at safety, which is really, really encouraging. He's flying around the field. He's all over the place. He's got the concepts down. He knows the plays. Picked it up real quick, and it seems like a natural transition for him. So I'm very excited to see him playing there. We do have now that, to me, that provides some depth, right? That's not like a jump off the screen type of thing, but that's big depth and somebody that you can rotate in and not really have too much of a drop off, right? He had two forced fumbles and recovered in those last couple games. He had 6 tackles just in that last Bills game alone. So you saw the progression as the season went on or closed out. Those last couple, really, really excited to see what he can do this year now that he's had a whole offseason to get ready at safety. So sticking at safety, number 4, Jordan Whitehead. Signed him in the offseason from Tampa Bay. So to me, kind of an unrecognized and underappreciated, I should say, underappreciated signing that really is going to boost this defense. He's coming off of a Tampa Bay defense that has been a top 10 defense for the last couple years. Very, very strong, knows how to win, comes from a winning environment, comes from a championship caliber team. So he knows what it takes to do that. And that is really big on a young team to infuse that experience and the understanding of what it takes to get to that next level. You need those types of players. So last year he gave up 8.6 yards per completion compared to 14 yards per completion in 2020. So big step forward in 2021, cutting those yards almost in half. So that's a big, big deal. He had 50. He was targeted 57 times in 2021, only 35 times in 2020. In both years, he maintained a 63% completion percentage, which is okay, but the fact that he was targeted almost double and didn't give up a higher completion percentage shows you that he's rock solid, right? He's getting better. And then what I really thought was interesting was he had over 100 less snaps last year than he did in 2021, and he produced at a higher level. So he lost 100 snaps, still did really, really good. So very excited to see him step into that safety role, be a leader on this defense, and kind of help these young guys develop. It's going to be that's why he's underrated. What he's going to bring to a young defense is going to be really big. Number 3, if you guys watched the draft, you know who this guy is. If you didn't watch the draft and you haven't heard of Michael Clemons yet, check him out. Texas A&M product, 7-year college player, a lot of JUCO stuff that he had early on, working his way up, redshirted, a lot of COVID stuff, but 7 years in college, really monster, absolute monster. Check him out. Huge, absolutely huge human being. Last year in 10 games, 11 tackles, 7 sacks, 1 fumble recovery for a touchdown, which is good. The 11 tackles were for losses, so that's a little more significant than just regular tackles. So his 40 speed was 4.8, which is really nice for an edge guy. He's powerful at impact, explosive on contact. Like when he hits he hits hard and he's got nice bend to get around the tackles, which is nice to see. And if they're planning on doing this defensive line rotation that they're talking about, he's going to be a plug and play type of guy that can to continue to put pressure on the quarterbacks when the starters are getting a little bit of a breather. So that's going to be huge. He's going to go bananas this year. Watch. He's going to make a name for himself. And he's older, right? I said 7 years in college. He's an older guy. He's more experienced, more mature, and he's got a lot more under his belt to help him transition to the NFL quicker. So he's going to be a big deal. Number 2, Corey Davis. Right? Everybody's heard of him falling off because of the injuries last year. So he was on pace for 1,000 yards last year. He was doing pretty good. He started the season incredibly well, and then his drops kind of went crazy. I don't know, and I'm going to attribute a lot of that to the injuries because he was playing through shoulder injuries and the groin injury that ended up taking him eventually out of the season. But a 15% drop rate, which is the highest of his career, is not exactly what you want to see, but you expect with health for that to turn around. What you're seeing in OTAs is Zach Wilson is targeting Corey Davis. He's looking for Corey Davis just like he started the season last year. So that rapport is still there. That connection is still there. And I expect that to continue throughout the season now that he's healthy. And even with all the health concerns from last season, he still ended up with 4 touchdowns, which really surprisingly, his career high is 5. So he was on pace to blow that out of the water if he would have stayed healthy. Unfortunately, the season didn't turn out that way, but he's shown flashes and glimpses that he could be a really good number 1 wide receiver. And I think now with the weapons that they've accumulated, he is going to go crazy this year. And Zach's going to look for him. He's going to be spreading the ball everywhere, but he's going to have a big year if he could stay healthy. Let's all pray for that one. Number 1, Tyler Conklin, free agent from the Vikings. I love this guy. I think he came on last year, finally got a chance after years of playing second fiddle. Irv Smith Jr. went down last year. He stepped into the starting role, and he took advantage of it. He put up some numbers. So he tripled his yardage, 600 yards, and 3 touchdowns last year. Tripled both of them for his career. So he hasn't got a lot of opportunities, but 600 yards in basically half a season is really, really nice. So he played through his 2021 season ended with injury, but during that he had 2021 61 receptions versus 32 receptions in his first 47 games of his career. So doubled his receptions just in 2021 over his entire career, which is 4 years. So a big jump for him, and he got an opportunity. He seized it. So the last Jets tight end that's had 60 receptions, you got to go back to 2011, Dustin Keller. It's been a while. So I like him a lot. On top of that, he is a great pass blocking tight end. So it's going to help out Zach a lot, especially with some of these hard defensive ends that they're going to have to go up against. It's going to be really, really good. He's got great hands. He's got really quick feet, really fast, great adjustments, and really he looks to me, and this is crazy, and I'm not going to compare him directly and say this is what it is, but it's a lot like George Kittle. He's got a lot of the same skill sets. He can block great. He can catch, quick footwork in and out of routes. His route running is really good. And this could be something to where he went underrated with the Vikings. They didn't appreciate what they had. And maybe that was a little bit of a coming out party last year. So now that he's going to get a bigger role in an offense, the opportunity to be, running with CJ across from, on the tight end sets is going to be really big. I think he can have a huge year for the Jets and a great safety net for Zach Wilson. So that is my top 5 underrated players going into 2021. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree. And if I miss somebody, let me know who you think the most underrated players going into the season are. All right. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.